You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code. Everybody.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up?
So I got to say hi to, let's see, we've got a bunch of people in the house already. Kenneth Bird, CJ Design, we're Rupenstein. Let's see, Easy Go Lucky, Marcus, what's going on, buddy? Did I mention where Rupenstein? I think I did. Ron Shepard's in the house. Okay. All right. So I hope everybody had a good holiday over the weekend. And then we've got Jeff Wedding. What's going on, buddy? And Happy New Year, I guess, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Robbie's gonna pretend to be the bigger guy, but I can ME Comics, what's going on? I can take the heat. All right. And Weird, what's going on, buddy? So both Alec and I have to eat some crow. That was just a horrendous game to watch on our parts.
Hold on. Before you start gloating for Robbie over here, Eagles had quite a few injuries, and usually I'm not one to say, well, they had injuries. It is what it is.
Dude, you can't cough up the ball 4 times and think you're going to win the game, bro. That can't happen.
That's what I mean.
Eagles, thanks for joining us, buddy.
The Eagles,
Go ahead.
I didn't expect the Eagles to win to begin with, and they played absolutely horrible. So hats off to Cowboys.
I totally expected them to win. I did. What's that?
I absolutely didn't expect them to win. So hats off to the Cowboys. You won. Good for you guys. But I mean, I'm excited for the first round exit like every other year. So
that was a shot. But I mean, look, I'm not putting it on Gardner Minshew or anything. I mean, he threw those 2 INTs, which was tough.
The team played horrible. It is what it is. Those things happen.
We did spot y'all. We did spot y'all 10 points, right? We tried to help y'all out, right?
Yeah. Well, you guys weren't looking too sharp either. That was an ugly game. I got to admit.
That's what I mean. A healthy Cowboys against an Eagles team
whoa. AR, we're not a healthy Cowboys team right now. We got so many injuries right now on the defensive side of the ball. That's a big deal.
Yeah, but Dak is putting up a lot of interceptions, man. That's a problem for you guys. That is a real problem.
Dak is.
He had that one team. 3rd and 30. That was a phenomenal play, but I blame that on the defense. All right. I mean,
the defense was atrocious all
obviously
game.
A broken down play. Well, you play cover 2 and you're rushing a quarterback. I mean, why aren't you playing prevent? I don't understand. Right. And then you leave Slay out in midfield, open space, and you've got one guy, and it's not Avonte Maddox, right? You got one guy going 1-on-1 with T.Y. Hilton. What are you, crazy? I would never, 3rd and 30, they're going deep. What else are they going to do? Right.
See, that's the thing. Our defensive coordinator is pretty bad. But the Cowboys do have a good team. Like, I stand by that. They've got honestly, in my opinion, a great team. Dak is the problem. He's a average quarterback, and he's not the one that's going to get you guys to the promised land.
He has not lit up anybody's fantasy roster by any stretch.
I'm just going to say this. None of us can have any bragging rights till we get through the playoffs, see what happens, how it shakes out, because right now in the field for the NFC, like, Dak's got more playoff experience than Jalen. But on that flip side, here's the thing. Jalen's having an amazing year. Jalen's having an amazing year, right? And I will say this. Y'all beat us without Dak. We beat you without Jalen. Maybe we'll get round 3 with Dak and Jalen. Now, that would be a game, I think. So, I don't know.
That's
It could be. I mean,
That's
it could
why
be.
I'm just so proud of the
Like
NFC East this year. I'm so proud of us this year. We're not the NFC South. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, they're bad.
We were a couple of years ago, but we're not this year. So,
well, AFC South is even worse, I think. Really, I mean, but we'll see what happens. Jeff Wedding, go Bills. Bills look real strong, that's for sure.
No, but that's like with Robbie. That's what I tend to keep my mouth closed. You know, neither team has done anything in the playoffs just yet. I mean, doesn't matter if the Eagles are 13-2. It doesn't matter what the Cowboys' record is. If you lose in the first round, you lose in the first round.
That's true.
The bragging rights come if Eagles Cowboys do play in the first round or whenever the game would come. Now you can start talking crap on each other. But say they both make it and they both lose in the first round, you can't say anything.
well, y'all won't lose in the first round because you get that first round bye, right? And it seems like if things shake out the way that they are right now, if the Bucks win next week, it's probably going to be us versus the Bucks. And I don't know how good that is because even though the Bucks aren't doing so well, Brady can still work his magic as we keep seeing. He has the most worst game of his career.
Yeah.
And then he saves the day at the end. It makes me sick.
I'll never put that man out.
He is an unknown. All right. And all of a sudden the Packers are winning. So you got a couple of unknowns out there, but I gotta say that the most exciting team for me to watch right now is the Jets.
On tonight's episode of Comic Collectibles, we're going to sell NFL Super Pro all night.
Hey, are you performing surgery later?
For real,
Yeah,
Nick.
right.
I need an issue number 2.
Wait, come on, Nick. Come on, bro. You got to come on.
No
On
way.
camera. Come on, bro.
No way.
Do you want me to describe it to them?
Go ahead, describe it.
All right. So Nick's got some sort of bright red surgical pants on.
It's
He
a
just walked in.
sweatsuit. Just because you've never seen me in a
Hey,
sweatsuit.
I'm telling you, it looks like you're getting ready to perform surgery. Come on, dude. Come on. Hey,
No way.
You're proud enough to wear it. Come on, show the viewers.
Who says
Come
I'm
on.
proud to wear it? Who says I'm
Well,
proud?
you wore it in here, and you didn't just meet me, Nick. You knew I was going to say something, right?
I'd be down for some Super Pro.
It's
cover art.
Dr. Nick Barucci.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of 90s nostalgia. Super Pro could clean up on this shit.
We can do a generic commission cover art with a generic football jersey and the superhero.
Jeff Wedding, no, it's not even as cool as an 80s Adidas tracksuit. I mean, they are surgical pants. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna perform surgery soon. Jay Burns, consider the other option, Rex. Good point, sir. Good point. Point taken. All right, but Hugh, what's going on, buddy? But yeah, I mean, to me, the Jags are the most fun to watch right now. I mean, you know, you've obviously got Peterson as the coach, so we love Peterson here in Philadelphia, no matter what. It's nice to see that kid Trevor Lawrence. You know, it's nice to see him come. Kind of come to what was expected of him. And his first season, his rookie season, not his fault. I don't think it's his fault.
Oh, absolutely not. That garbage coach.
Who's producing the show?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't heard. Maybe Kyle. I didn't see Jade. I don't know. Come on, Dr. Nick. Let's see the pants,
No
bro.
way.
Oh, man. You can't be wearing pants like this and not be willing to go on air with it. That's just not right.
Sure it is.
That's no. All right. Nick likes to do this a lot. All the viewers, put in 1 if you want to see Nick's pants. Number 2 if you don't want to see Nick's pants. All right. Go ahead.
That could go 2 different ways.
That could go really bad. Jay just pointed that out. But it's a holiday week, so let's get a little crazy here. And Weird's voted 3 times, just in case. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You go, Ed Weird. Do it, man. Hey, you got to give the audience what they want, Nick. That's the first. But just the pants. No, Jeff, please. No. I don't know. I don't think we're seeing any 2s here, Nick. I'm just saying, bro. And that's what I love about the unscripted nature of this show. Dude, I had no idea what Nick was going to wear until he came in, right? So
I'll just say that I am looking for Super Pro number 2 and then anything after 4. So if anybody can help me out, that would be great. So just so y'all know.
So yeah, love seeing what the Jags are doing. Packers obviously helped the Jets out, I think, so that's good. You know, I mean, I'd like to see the Lions do well too. No, not quite MC Hammer, guys. But it's ones all the way
cool.
around. All right, we'll see if Nick will honor the will of the people. I will continue to try during the course of the show to get him get on air. Hey, but Triple B, listen, I'm Marcus Skinny Jeans. Triple B, whatever happens, happens. All right, buddy. Hey, listen, okay. Just be glad I'm not standing up. All right. So, but other than that, Robbie, Alec, how was your weekend, man? How was Christmas for you guys?
You can go first.
Oh, it was great. I had a great, relaxing, drama-free Christmas. I watched some Christmas movies. I ate some good food, and then I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey on Christmas night because I had a show on Monday about it on somebody else's channel. But a really nice, relaxing. I got to watch the Cowboys win on Christmas Eve. That was good. To watch the Lakers really suck in the third quarter on Christmas Day, so that wasn't very pleasing. However, it was a good Christmas. How about you, AR?
No, it was good. Well, Eagles lost. It is what it is. I didn't really watch a lot of the NBA games that day. Nets weren't playing, so didn't really care.
Are you in the 76ers? The Sixers won, right, Rex?
Sixers did win.
They did against the Knicks. Yeah. I got to tell you, Sunday's slate of games were pretty poor. They
were.
Bad. They were not good games. I mean, of course, you got to set the schedule before.
You talking about the NBA?
Before, but what?
Are you talking about the NBA or the NFL?
No, I'm talking about football, NFL.
Oh, okay, I was about the NBA. Had some good
games
matchups.
on Sunday were pretty poor. They were just not very good games. All right. So, and Weird's got a good one. Time to bargain. Allow Nick to put out the Rudolph bobblehead in exchange for the fashion show. That actually is a very good idea, and I will mention as soon as Nick's within earshot there. But yeah, it was a pretty boring day of football on Sunday. Saturday was good, I thought, but yeah, Sunday.
Saturday had some really good games.
Yeah, Saturday was good. I did not watch the NBA, unfortunately. I don't know why. I just sort of missed it. But it was cold here, guys. I got to tell you, man, it was really cold.
Oh, it was horrible. I smoked something on Saturday, and I couldn't get the smoker over. I think it was like 130 degrees. It just kept dropping. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
it's pretty rough.
I'm telling you, it was brutal. I mean, I don't know about where you're at, Robbie, but on Friday, it literally, from the time I left my house to the time I left the office, it dropped 50 degrees. That was crazy.
Yeah, we had the same thing happen here. I'm in Alabama. You don't expect 8 degree weather here, and that's what we had. And then when we were supposed to recover a little bit on Monday, they were like, you're going to get some flurries in the afternoon. It just kept snowing. And here, if we get a tiny slick of ice on the roads, it shuts everything down. So we had one of those.
You don't have the infrastructure.
Exactly, but so we had.
You don't have the salt trucks. You don't have all that.
Exactly.
I mean, I learned that because I was in Atlanta one year, and it was snowing, and it wasn't much snow compared to what we've seen here. It was maybe about an inch and a half, right? So I call a cab and go to the airport. This is probably pre 9/11, right? So you get there like right before your flight takes off and fly through security. I remember the cab drivers driving so slow. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to miss my flight. I actually told the guy, listen, you want to pull over and let me drive? I said, I'm from snow country. I can do this. Right. And he wouldn't let me do it. But dude, I was like, come on, bro. It's only an inch and a half of snow on the ground.
It snowed less than an inch, but because it had been so cold, it immediately froze on the roads. And there were hundreds of cars abandoned on streets in my city. And people were having to walk home or go to hotels. I had a friend who went to a hotel and it was booked because of everybody there that had abandoned their car. It happened in an hour too. It was just so quick. We're so unused to it down here. It just shut everything down. But now we're good. And it was almost 60 degrees today. And it felt like 80.
It moved up to about the mid 40s for us, which seems balmy after this weekend. I'll be honest with you. I went to family's house for Christmas Eve, and I kind of didn't want to leave the house. It was so friggin' cold. I mean, it was crazy. Stevie B, the way AR started that smoke statement, I thought he was really chilling out.
I thought the same thing when you were on Saturday, and you had a pause, and I'm like, "Ooh, where's this going?"
Yeah, right.
Well, even if it did go that way, I wasn't gonna bring it up on this.
What's crazy is that by this weekend, and Alec, we're more or less in the same geographical weather pattern area. It's going to be like 60 this weekend.
That's what I heard.
I mean, that's nuts. That's literally crazy.
Global warming's crazy.
I want to go on the over on that one. But I'm glad everybody had a good time. I hope everybody was safe, especially with the crazy weather. I hope nobody had to travel to Buffalo. Oh my God, they got hammered. That's crazy. I mean, the amount of snow. You talk about what happened in Alabama. You're down there. Everybody would be freaking out if you saw that kind of snow. I'd be freaking out if I saw that kind of snow.
People would just give up, man. They would just give up on life. That's what would happen. They'd just be like, "It's over. We don't even know what this is." If it snows a foot here, it's historical. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess it would
once
be
in a lifetime type stuff. Yeah.
Everybody's crawled in their fetal position in their house.
That's how it was when I lived in Oklahoma.
What's that?
That's how it was when I lived in Oklahoma. Any sort of snow, it's like everything shut down for days, and it's like, oh my God, like just like plow it. I don't know, do something, but they don't do that.
You don't have the infrastructure. I used to go to Minnesota during the winter, and dude, there would always be snow on the ground, dude. It would just never go away, and they just know how to deal with it. You know, they just have the infrastructure. It was no big thing to them. It's just, I guess, a normal January, February, or whatever. CJ says Albany was the same way. That kind of makes sense. Upstate New York got absolutely pummeled. I mean, I can't, and that's the second time they've gotten pummeled. So they've dealt with a lot of snow this year. So certainly thinking about everybody in that area of the country. But all right, so let's get started. All right, so let me get a couple of books off the list here. So I went with a lot of Green Arrow and Green Lantern this time. I don't know why. I guess I was thinking about John. Oh, and somebody asked about John. So John does for the first time has a real legit excuse. So apparently I got a text from over the weekend, or maybe it was, I think it was over the weekend. Both he and his wife tested positive for COVID. So that's why he's not here. So maybe he'll join us in the chat. Yeah. So, and I know he's not lying, because if he was going on vacation, he would just straight up tell us. I mean, he's told us every other time. Right. So, so John, if you're watching, buddy, thinking about you, buddy. Hopefully it's just a positive test, no symptoms.
Yeah, feel better, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Marcus, not enough Willow comics. All right, so first up, we've got Green Arrow #1, signed by writer J.T. Kroll. It is #2 of 150, and we have the one available for $19.99. So sorry you're not here, John. I know the colored green is your favorite. And I actually thought about that a little bit, but I picked out this show, I think, last week before the holiday. So unfortunately, John couldn't be here today. All right. So that is available. Let's get to another one. Oh, this one's nice. Superior Carnage Annual #1, Silver Signature Series, signed by Cullen Bunn. It is #2 of 10. And suggested retail of $69.99, and we have the one available for $50.
Symbiote stuff needs to be heating up soon, because Marvel's big event this summer is going to be the Summer of Symbiotes. So
that's right.
Cullen Bunn's a great signature to get too. He's a cool guy.
I was gonna say, just like last summer. It's just like last summer, and they did all the symbiote stuff. I'm over it. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, well,
sorry.
I get you. Me too. Some people aren't, though. I was just trying to boost it up, man. Come on, man. Why you got to bring it down? AR, is this what we do on Wednesday nights? We talk the books down? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, on Wednesday nights, name drop. CJ, it's the holidays. Drink whenever you feel like. We could name drop, but what's the point?
I mean, I did do a little bit of horror action figure shopping alongside Cullen Bunn in September, and chatted him up just a moment there. He's a big horror.
There's a name drop.
Yeah, so cool.
And you went shopping with the man, so that's a double shot right there, right?
I wouldn't say I went shopping with him. I just happened to be at the same toy booth that he was at. That's all.
No, what I will say though is Cullen Bunn, he kills it on all the horror stuff. He honestly does. He's done great stuff with, I think it's Vault. I mean, he's done a lot with Boom Studio as well.
He's got a new one out from Vault. Second issue just dropped today. Door to Door, Night by Night. Really cool book.
That is a fun series. I didn't get a chance to pick up the second issue. The shop didn't have it, but the first one is way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and I like the second one better than the first one. So you got to get a hold of that.
Yeah, I got to try and get it. That was a fun issue.
Ed Weird is saving his liver for New Year's Eve. Come on, Ed Weird. That's days away, buddy. Peer pressure. I guess it's not really a good thing to do to encourage our viewers to drink, huh?
John does. It's John's fault. He shouldn't be dropping so many names.
We're not telling him what to drink.
Well, actually, it's kind of my fault because after his name dropping, I think I sort of made up the game. I don't really remember. But any big plans for New Year's Eve, you guys?
No, I don't know about you.
No, not really. No. We're doing I do a show on Saturday nights called Dylan's Horror Show, where we talk about a horror movie each week. But we're actually doing that on Friday, and we're doing Terror Train, which is a New Year's Eve themed slasher film. And
Gotcha.
Me and my homies, we've talked about like maybe going to do this, but I've hit that age now where like I don't care to do things on New Year's Eve. I want a nice quiet night. You know what I'm saying? I just want to chill out, maybe have some friends over or go to somebody's house, but I'm over doing the big thing. Yeah, I used to be that guy that had to be downtown, had to be at a big party. Like I was the party guy in my 20s and 30s, but now that I'm in my 40s, I've calmed down. I've matured a little bit. So.
I gotta be honest. I went to Times Square as a much younger man. That was not fun.
I would never recommend that.
Not fun, dude. It was just so your shoulder to shoulder. It's just not. And you know, you could, you know, your buzz wears off. I mean, it was just like not a good time. I was like, why do people do this? I didn't get it, you know. And then it's always so expensive to try to stay in a hotel, so you got to stay on the Jersey side. It was just the whole thing was just a real pain. Did it once, got to say I did it, and that's it. I'll never do it again, man. I would almost rather do anything else.
Man, my thing is we've talked about it so many times now. I'm trying to stay away from people at this point. I don't know what it is. Crowds don't do it for me. And on top of that, everything is so god awful expensive. Mixed drinks are guaranteed to be like $10 at a minimum. Beers are $6 or $7 now too. And
you got a tip. And you got to tip well if you want them to remember you so that they serve you quickly the next time, because the bars are always packed on New Year's Eve.
I think the game changer for me was when I lived out in Oklahoma, because the drinks were always like $7 and they have an Oklahoma liquor tax on top of that. And that usually came out to around $1, like $1.20. And then you got to leave that $1 tip on top of it. So that $7 drink's almost $10 right then and there. And, you know, a couple of those, you're looking at $50 already. And no.
If you went to a Phillies game, that would be a bargain. Trust me.
That's different though. I'm going there with the intent to. I've already spent a lot of money. If I'm at a Phillies game, might as well just go all in.
Yeah, you have. Even free tickets. Yeah, no, there really are no free tickets when you get right down to it. To any Major League Baseball game, you go to any ballpark.
It's like when you go to a con too. Like you just know that you're going to be dropping money like you rich. You know what I'm saying?
You got no choice.
The craziest thing is now you brought it up. John brought it up multiple times. When I go to cons, I don't spend almost any money at this point. I go, I just walk around. Sometimes I get artwork, but I'm just there for the experience. I like to see people and just talk to the vendors, and that's all I really do. But I don't collect a lot of single issues at all anymore.
See, I don't even spend the money on that. What I like doing is I will go and I'll meet a creator and I'll stay at their table and chat them up, and then I'll buy stuff from them. Right.
That's usually what happens for me.
At Heroes Con, I spent hundreds of dollars on Jim Rugg because a lot of the stuff that he had is out of print. You can't find it.
Right,
so everything he had that I couldn't get a hold of, I snatched it up. And he, you know, they work with you, they give you good deals, but that's my favorite thing is connecting with someone, buying it directly from the person, cutting out the middleman. Sometimes it's nice, you know, and you get to give them, sometimes I give them a little bit extra. They'll do a remark, things like that. And that's why I spend so much money. Plus, when I go to a con, I like to go out and eat good and drink good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited to hang out with Spilio for MegaCon coming up in 2023. That's gonna be
nice. Fun. So Stevie B, you've been to Times Square as well. That's true. It's gotten to be a real control issue now. From what I hear, I haven't been in a long time, obviously. But yeah, finding a bathroom was a real problem, dude, because a lot of the businesses wouldn't let you in to use the bathroom.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing attractive to me about doing that anything, you know, at this point anymore. But hey, if you haven't done it, and you want to do it, go for it.
Man, I see Signer's comment about who goes to the con and doesn't buy anything. What Robbie said, I usually get artwork. Like I usually show up with a few blank sketch covers. I usually try to get a couple covers done. But
Right.
Like I said, at this point I don't really collect single issues. I've moved on from pretty much all of it, and artwork is usually what I end up picking up. I like to hang stuff. But yeah, it's always really cool to meet the people and just, their take on whatever you give them. Like if I give them a, I don't know, Spidey cover, and it's like, all right, do like your Spidey, what you want to do for Spidey. And it's cool to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's everybody, I think, goes to a con for different reasons. I think some people now with all the cosplayers, they go just to be a part of it, maybe pick up a thing or two. Some people do it like Robbie, some people do it like Alec, it's just the experience of being there, I think. I mean, quite honestly, if you're looking for a deal or you're looking for something specific, you're probably going to have better luck on the internet anyway, because, with a floor full of dealers, how are you going to find what it is you're looking for? You just hope that you're lucky enough to browse across that table or whatever.
If I go to a con that has a good booth or two that has vintage like 80s and 90s toys, it's over. It is over. I'm going to leave. I'm going to have all these He-Man, Turtles, and Silverhawk toys with me.
So you're hoping that dealer isn't right up front of the entrance, because then you never go back past that guy.
Yeah, right. And then there's like, when I was at Heroes Con, there's this dude named Jason who runs this place in Virginia, I believe, called Cerebral Vortex. And he had just indie comics. And I'm talking about indie comics going back to the 70s, true underground alternative stuff that you don't find at shops. Like I run a shop, that stuff never comes in, So I was buying up copies of Taboo and Faust and 8-Ball and all kinds of stuff like that. Like just I loved it. This stuff you can't find somewhere, it's cool.
No, I agree. It's the experience, and everybody has a slightly different, goal when you get out there. But as long as you're enjoying the experience, that's the whole purpose of it. But all right, we got to go to our first break. So we're going to do that. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Stay with us.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Who would win, Batman or Superman? It's the age-old debate, except it's so much more complicated than that. Nerd Killer Warfare every week on The Experience is your chance to debate other nerds in the questions we've all been asking for years, except we take those debates and turn them up to 11. Go to bit.ly/EXP casting or scan the QR code to be part of the show.
Hello, my name is Julio Anta. I am the writer of Home from Image Comics. You can pick it up anywhere books are sold. It's a 5-issue series, and you're watching me on The Experience.
right, and we're back. So Ed Weird, he has his own thing when he does his cons. So he doesn't really spend money anymore on stuff. He's there for the panels and he, taking pictures and stuff. So, again, I definitely, if you don't do a lot of cons, I definitely encourage people to go for the experience itself, all the cosplayers, everything else. It's really cool, but everybody has kind of a different purpose, when they're there. And that's good. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. Lots to see there with most of the time.
Yeah, there's always a lot of really good stuff to check out.
Robbie does his thing, Alec does his thing, so Ed Weird does his thing. So yeah, definitely.
That's what's so great about this community, right, guys? Like, there's so many people that are into comics and into this community, in this industry, in this world for so many different reasons, and it's such a connected community. Even though there are people that just buy for spec, there are people that just buy for art, there are people that just buy for story, there are people that just buy to fill their collection. There's so many ways to collect comics, but it's all under the umbrella of this wonderful community that we have here. What's up, Pete?
Yeah, because everybody has the one common thing, and when you meet these people, you talk about that one common thing. So that's definitely a good thing, especially in the world today. There's so many things that are so divisive. It's nice that we can do this, have a community where it's like this. So I appreciate that. Oh, Nick and Weird had a great deal for you.
What's that?
We'll bring Rudolph back if we can have the fashion show on your surgical scrubs.
Nope.
Oh.
But what I will do,
I tried
speaking
people.
Of the community, on Friday, we're putting this up for sale on our 7 o'clock show. Bob Layton donated this. All the money will go to Fat Jack's Comic Crypt.
And to remind everybody, so Nick will be here on the experience on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the original art show, and you'll see the Iron Man piece there.
And I've got 2 more things for Friday.
Oh, go ahead. No, you first. Go ahead. What else you got?
And then this is from Carol Perez, or from George Perez's and Carol Flynn's personal collection. The hottest collection that's come out in years. 2 copies from Carol's personal collection, JLA Avengers trade paperback. All the money will go to Carol Flynn, George's wife. So these will come with a certificate of authenticity that these came from George's private collection.
Cool.
So these will be available on Friday. So
tune in on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern for Nick's original art show and all this stuff. You can see that there and a lot of other stuff.
I couldn't see that, Nick. Can you push it out a little farther?
But I bet.
Here you go. Iron Man and roller skates. How cool was this of Bob Layton to draw this so that we could raise money for Fat Jacks?
Man, that's cool.
That is cool. Not as cool as Nick Scrubs, but it's pretty cool.
I love the helmet with the gold going up like that. It really is awesome. Friday fun with Nick and Scrubs.
Yeah, here we go. This one isn't going away. It's leaving a mark.
It's off center, move left. Here you go. Is that a little bit better for you? Does that work for you, Marcus? Hey, everybody, hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet.
All right. So 7 p.m. this Friday. So tune in to check out this stuff, and I'm sure it's going to be a bunch more original art and some really neat pieces. And don't forget Robbie's on Robbie's channel, PCP Pop Culture will be on noon on Friday, Eastern time.
Oh, I have an answer of how to make it work. Hold on, I'll be right back.
How to make what work? All right, we'll find out in a minute, I guess. All right, let me throw another book up there. We have Justice League International #1, signed by Dan Jurgens. #4 of only 150 signed. And we have this one available for $19.60. All right. So, and we'll see.
Just a second. It disappeared on me again.
All right. Hey, what's going on, JD?
I've got a way to center it a little bit more for Marcus.
And Weird refuses to hit the thumbs up until he sees the scrubs.
All right, here we go. We're gonna get in front of the camera and show it a little more. There we go.
And Weird says he's not hitting thumbs up until he sees the scrubs, bro.
See?
Just saying.
Marcus, is that to the left enough? The camera doesn't swivel. No, the camera doesn't swivel.
It could. I think Nick had it fine. I don't think that's what Marcus was saying, to be quite honest.
Okay, well, maybe Marcus was saying he couldn't see this enough.
I don't think that's what Marcus was saying. Just
There we go. Is
being
that better,
honest.
Marcus?
Nope.
That's right, CJ. Amy to the rescue. All right, cool. Thank
All
you,
right.
Amy.
Oh, you know what? Let's throw up the giveaways for the night. Let's the first one is X Factor number 200.
We're giving away X Factor 200.
Yes, we are.
Wow.
Suggested retail of $69.99, signed by Peter David. All right, and this is our first giveaway item. And JD, what are we going to make it? Hashtag love EXP, I guess. Give JD a second there. I would say
I'm working from Kyle's office, and I have he has a very weird setup. Has anybody used a trackball in this century?
Trackball.
Because he still does, and it is very
I
nice.
have, but we've all determined that I'm really old. John D. Creative Keep. Yes. Amy accidentally bumped the camera over.
Could always move the camera like that. Like, oh no, it's looking down. Wait.
JD, move the X Factor.
There they are. I saw them. I saw a glimpse of them.
That's probably all you're gonna get.
Why is he so embarrassed about his joggers? What's going on?
I have never seen Nick move that fast in my
I
life.
gotta get back to looking.
That was like a Bigfoot sighting. Just like the
life,
last glimpse of it.
He was
Someone's
looking
gonna-
at NFL running back, like, shooting up the middle and just trying to do a spin to avoid it.
Someone's gonna study that footage and find out it was a hoax the entire time. Nick was never there.
And weird because I saw Santa's pants. Thank you, Amy.
It was so fast. It was like grainy and blurry. It's like, no, that was it.
Kind of like Santa, right? It's kind of like Santa, right? It's real fast.
I'm well rounded enough.
Oh my God.
If my grip counts.
So, all right. So we saw Nick's scrub pants. Next week's show, Nick will sport his Adidas sweatsuit matching outfit.
Too funny.
Oh God, too funny.
What-
Right.
All right, Amy, since you're here, show everybody the X Factor up close. You may as well.
All right. So
Yeah,
it's
take a picture.
hashtag. Use hashtag EXP 2023. That's a good one. I like that one, JD. All right. So everybody. So hashtag EXP 2023, and you'll enter the Hugh hashtag. I saw the Santa's pants. Maybe we should have made it that. All right, but to enter the giveaway tonight, go ahead and
Give birth to a legend tonight.
yeah, right. Oh man, too much fun. That's a good one, Hugh. All right, so I did my best. He wouldn't go for the Rudolph deal. I offered it up. I would have left Rudolph up the entire show. I'm not, not even playing. I totally would have done that. All right, so the second giveaway of the night is Catwoman Lonely City #1, signed by Cliff Chang. And once you enter hashtag EXP 2023, you don't need to enter it again. You will be automatically entered for both drawings. Right, JD? I'm right? Give JD a second here.
He's got to get to that trackball.
Just trying to figure it out.
Sure. Okay. There you go.
Sure.
Now, this is a great book. Cliff Chang's an amazing creator. He did everything on this book, the colors, the art, the writing. And this is on many people's best of list for this year. So this is a great giveaway.
I heard that is a really good series.
All
It is.
right.
It's really solid.
All right. So next up, as I said, we did a lot of green. I got 2 Green Lantern books. They're pretty cool. So first one up is Green Lantern Corps number 45, signed in silver by Peter Tomasi. It's number 6 of 10. And we have one available for $60, signed in silver, low numbers. Preston, what's going on, buddy? We're Rubenstein. Any of our Canadian viewers, Indigo has 40% off hardcovers until the 31st. Nice. Okay, so that's good information to know. Preston, and then he would have crushed Rudolph with a hammer at the end of the show. That's not true, because I don't know where we keep the hammer in the office. So, oh, that is too funny. But all right, so then let's throw the second Green Lantern book up. Green Lantern Annual #1, 80-page giant, edition signed by Mark Waid in Lantern Green. And it is number 6 of only 8 signed. And we suggested retail of $80, and we have the one available for $69.99.
Man, I'm still convinced you do it on purpose. You always have the books that John would want when he's not here.
But I have to claim, not this time. I put this show together last week. I thought John was going to be here, so the whole COVID thing threw a twist on it. Now, if I really wanted to irk John, I would have put a Green Hornet book on, right? CJ Nick C. Hammer, that's a good one. So this is also available tonight. And let me see here. All right. So as Robbie said, I think it was last week sometime about DC. We could just keep talking about it. So it looks like Shazam is safe. All right. At least what we're getting from Levi is he says he feels very confident about it.
It depends on how Shazam 2 does, right? If Shazam 2 doesn't do very well, I bet he's not so safe.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement probably. But I mean, the nice thing is that James Gunn has become more vocal, and you feel this shift, right? Like he's taking control of the public info and any releases that come out, which I think is something that they needed. All right, you had too many people talking. Yeah, CJ, DCU Gay Part 5. We could get to double digits before this is over, right? But I think that's a good thing. That's a good development. And again, I am a fan of Gunn and Safran. I don't really know that much, but clearly somebody's got to take care of the more business side of it, I guess. But it's nice to see that he's trying to keep a cap on it, make sure that he's the one voice, which I think is a good thing. I think that's something DC needed for a while now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the thing is, I think that what they should do, and what I think they will do, is differentiate DC Universe. So you have a DC movie that pops in and it says DC Universe for the logo. And you know that this is part of this story that they're telling, right? And it's all connected. Right. But then other movies could go DC Elseworlds. So they could say that before the Joker movie. They could say that before another Aquaman or Wonder Woman or Shazam movie, right? So they can still do that. I think that would be, and I know that a lot of corporate talk, they don't like the idea of like breaking brand like that, but I think that would be such a bold thing and differentiate themselves from what Marvel's been doing with one universe. They could be like, yeah, we have our story that leads to this point, but we are also dropping these Elseworlds because they were like, I mean, even though What If's technically first, there were so many imaginary stories, they used to call them, right, at DC for decades. And so it's just part of it. And I think that would really work. I think that would work really, really well.
I think you're right about that. But, it's to me, the problem is that at this point, breaking brand, dude, you've already crushed it. All right. They've shattered it into little bits. That's why you need James Gunn to come in and try to redo everything. So that really, anything that they do at this point is pretty much an improvement. I think, because you need one voice. Because through the years, we've got all these conflicting voices, based on, you've got Dwayne Johnson talking about who's going to be Superman. That's too many voices, and they needed one cohesive voice. So yeah. I personally am, again, willing to give James Gunn the ability, give it. Yeah, I think, Marcus, you might be right. Like the Flash is just, they've committed so much to it that there's no way to get around that.
So imagine this though. Imagine this. So like we know Henry Cavill's out, but for instance, James Gunn did say that we've talked about potential for the future. Now everybody knows that's probably them just trying to save face, come across as nice and in it together. But imagine they're doing their thing. They're 5 years in, it's fine. But all of a sudden they drop a DC Elseworlds movie and it's Henry Cavill and it's Superman Red Son. Come on. Like you tell me we wouldn't love that and how well that would do. And it's this, what's the difference? Like that would be the same thing as what they're doing with the Flash movie, where DC apparently is really high on this Flash movie. They are like really solid on it's testing well. They think it's good. And most of that apparently is because of Michael Keaton, right? But like bringing Michael Keaton back, like that's something you could do. You could have Henry Cavill come in to do Superman Red Son or come in to do Kingdom Come, or something like that. And that could be a big deal. That could be really interesting stuff. But we'll see what they do.
It wasn't that I didn't like Cavill's like Superman, but I'm just not that okay. So he's out. You know, it hasn't made that much of a blip. Marcus, you're right. The Rock is out. He's made that announcement, obviously, about Black Adam. That there won't be no, two. How much of that is based on the box office results or whatever Gunn and Safran are planning? Who knows? But I think part of the problem, I think what's frustrating, and I think Gunn had addressed this in his latest interview about corporate interference. He made a very good point that he and Safran are now the CEOs. So any corporate interference is going to come from them. Okay, and I thought that out of the
there's nobody there's nobody overseeing them. Like they're the top. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that clarified something we've all been talking about now for weeks. And I think that was a good move. I think that was important to define that, because one of the things we brought up is the corporate interference, all these different voices, changing gears, switching directions, when the people at the top change, merger, okay, we're switching again. And now you feel like there's, good or bad, but I'm betting on the fact it's going to be good based on Gunn's resume and what's happened in the past. And again, let's call it what it is. Guardians of the Galaxy, a niche kind of property that very few people knew of, and now has become a household name. So that says something. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I think at least his first moves have been positive, in the sense that he's trying to silence all these various voices and kind of bring a kind of plan, a cohesive plan, because you can't be Kevin Feige without shutting everybody else up. Everybody stop talking about what the DC universe is going to be. All right, you have co-CEOs now, and we'll determine that, and we'll make an announcement when that time is right. So I think that in and of itself.
And that's a freedom that Kevin Feige doesn't have, right? Kevin Feige has people above him that tell him to do certain things or not to do certain things, right? And especially lately, so Gunn and Safran have a creative freedom, and Gunn being a creative and not an executive, he's a creator first. I think that's, and he's like old school, like bootleg filmmaker first. Like he was doing trauma films and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like he's been on the nitty gritty, true creative vision type thing. So I'm really excited to see what they do. Their first announcement should be coming out at the beginning of next year, they said, right? So I'm very excited to see what the slate's going to be.
Ron, I totally agree. Peacemaker, loved it. He took, again, a niche character and turned it into something that we all love. So I'm willing to give the man the benefit of the doubt, and let's see what happens. But all in all, he can't do worse. Okay. No. He certainly can't make it more confusing and just kind of changing directions. Even if you don't like the direction that they take, it's still going to be better than what they have now, which is just disparate pieces they're trying to constantly cobble together. It's like somebody using super glue to fix that vase. You put water in that thing's going to leak no matter how you slice that pie, right? So that I think is probably a very big, positive. But you know what? All right, we have a new CCA tonight, so let's throw that out there. It is Superman #1, signed with Lex Luthor cover sketch by Gordon Purcell. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have this new one available for $50.
So after everything that Robbie said, I think that is honestly, I think that's a
yes.
He had an idea, and I'm going to let her run with it.
Okay.
She said you dropped the ball, and I dropped the ball.
On what?
I had this brief idea for another giveaway.
Okay.
Hopefully people will like it. In honor of Stan Lee's birthday, he's 100 today, guys. How crazy is that? And wow, I really messed up the camera now that I'm looking at it on the big screen. But maybe a giveaway could be this Amazing Spider-Man annual number 21. And it's it's oh my gosh, it's Spidey and Mary Jane getting married.
All right, so we have a third giveaway,
now,
and
I'm
again,
trying to fix the camera,
All right, so again, hashtag EXP 2023 will do it. You will automatically be entered into all three drawings, and in honor of Stanley's 100th birthday, I think you said, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do this giveaway. It is ASM, what number again?
Annual number 21.
Annual number 21. So this is going to be the third giveaway, and we'll do the giveaways kind of like
1987. Wow.
Well, the one thing Amy brought up to me was that since Stan decided to marry Peter and MJ in the newspaper strip, and since Stan's most well-known character is Peter Parker and Spider-Man, she thought it would be great to give it away to him.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Just something for his birthday.
That is a very good idea. All right,
just what a legacy. It's just comics and film and entertainment. It's not what it is today without him.
His name has been printed in more comics and books. Well, obviously comics, but in more books. His name has seen print more than any other author, including William Shakespeare. Hundreds of millions of books worldwide. There is no writer as prolific whose name has been as many books as Stan Lee. So that says a lot.
It does say a lot.
Plus, you can't say no to Amy.
Tierney, thanks for joining us, buddy. Joel in the house. What's going on, bro? Again, I want to for anybody that joined us a little later, I want to hope everybody had a great holiday over the weekend and have a great New Year's coming up.
Didn't Stan do a wedding ceremony?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
The Mets back in the day. That's another reason why Amy picked it.
Ron's like, Amy, grab a statue in the back.
That I might get in trouble for, but I'm lucky I was able to get this in.
Yeah, if John were here, she'd send John.
John wouldn't use a giveaway though; he would keep it.
Yeah, well, that's my point, though. But she'd have to rip it from John when he came back out.
The only other thing I'll add right now is JD, you have an email. Amy's going to put it on Slack. Ronald was asking why Iron Man was wearing roller skates. We are going to show you why. Fourth giveaway, the Santa pants. How many people we got watching right now, JD?
20. 20 people want to see the Santa pants. I'm just saying.
I tell you guys what, if you guys spread the word and you get us to 35 people before the end of the show, on Friday, I'll give away one of the statues.
Ooh.
All right. I gotta ask everybody who's watching, how many people thought he was going to say, I'll show you the Santa pants?
I did.
Yeah.
I think people would rather have
Okay.
Pants.
Yes.
You get us to 40 people before 8 o'clock, and I'll come on the air with the pants.
So let me get this straight. You're willing to give away a statue before showing the Santa pants. Is this what you're telling us?
That is exactly what I'm saying.
Wow, dude.
So if we get to 40 people, if everybody posts on Facebook, on their Twitter, don't bother with MySpace. Not enough people there anymore.
MySpace.
Don't go to Friendster.
Is MySpace still even up?
I saw the funniest meme today on Facebook. It had a question, how old are you? Okay. And the response was, I was once on the phone with Blockbuster.
All right. So if we get to 40 people by 8 o'clock, I will come on the air with my sweatpants.
Come on, people. Come on, man.
Or I'll just
call your relatives.
Or Amy will just move the camera again.
Turn on every device in your house. Come on. We want to see the Santa pants.
Did you guys know that MySpace is still a thing? Like, there's actually still a website?
Are you serious? I
did
not know that.
I'm on it.
Look at that.
It exists.
I'm going to check that out now that you mention it. But all right, people, that's all we got to do. We got to get to how many again, Nick?
40. 35 is the statue on Friday. 40, I come on the air with the pants.
Come on, guys. Let's get to 40. We get the pants and statue. Come on, man.
Dude, my old profile is still up on MySpace.
Now
everything's gone though. Everything's gone. It looks like.
Wait, what's still up on MySpace?
My MySpace profile. I just went to the page. It's still there.
How can you access it?
I don't know. I don't remember my password. I think accessing it might unlock something, and I don't want to do that. So.
Wait, so can you just look it up like your actual?
Yeah, I looked up my actual
like your
URL,
name.
right? Yeah, that's what
I have to be honest. I never had a MySpace account only because it was here and then it was gone so fast, right? For a period of time, it felt like everybody's talking about MySpace, and then it was gone. It was just like it went out of business, and then Facebook took over, and then it was still a few more years before I got on the Facebook, but that was crazy. The news page on MySpace hasn't been updated since 2017. I did not know that. Where Rupenstein just clued us in on that. That's crazy, dude.
That's wild.
Yeah, that was talk about a business model gone bad, man.
MySpace. I mean, MySpace was such a weird social media setup compared to how things are today with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And like, you would have to post something on someone's wall. There wasn't a feed, you know, and like, oh, it's so weird. You had a top 8 friends. Remember, you would have to rank your friends. You'd have your top 8.
That's crazy. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember hopping into high school, and that was like the thing. Everybody had it. And it's like, oh, you're not my top. I'm in your top. It's like,
no, you would swap people's top. You could get code and like change your theme and your wallpapers and stuff. And then everybody had a profile song. Remember that? Oh my goodness.
Dude, MySpace was legit.
I did not know any of that, to be quite honest. I don't think I was ever even up on it other than, maybe a few times here and there as people were talking about it. I looked at it. But I never.
The hip hop group that I was in had a MySpace page. I need to look that up and see if I can still see some of the pictures.
Whoa, back it up. Did you just say you were in a hip hop group?
Yeah. Did you not research who I was before you asked me to join your show?
I didn't.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was in a hip hop group for a while. You can still find music from us out there on the web.
Get out of town. I didn't see that one coming. Did you see that one coming, Alec?
I don't know. Robbie seems like he's done it all. I don't know. I also didn't know that you ran a comic shop either. So that was kind of news to me. I was going to ask you about that earlier, but one topic leads to another.
The comic shop part is not that surprising. This is a comic book show. The Experience is a comic book channel. Pop Culture Philosophers is heavily comic books, but the hip hop thing didn't see that coming, bro. Did not see that coming.
Oh, yeah. I'll send you some links, man. I'll send you some links.
Absolutely. Please do.
We'll do.
Please do. All right. We got to take our next break. So stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Did you know that across America there are over 2, maybe even 3 live stream producers who can't even afford Mountain Dew? Take Brian here. Brian has gone 2 weeks without a sip of Red Bull. If it goes on much longer, he may take a shower and get a real job. Situations like this are as tragic as they are preventable. Join the Experience on YouTube and gain access to special emojis and members-only streams. For less than a cup of coffee, you can keep socially awkward hermit people working from their parents' basements where they belong. Scan the QR code on the screen to join. You'll be glad you did. You just finished the last episode of your favorite news show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
You know how when you go to Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, you go to the hotel bar, and there's a whole bunch of people playing music and dancing, and you've got Pikachu and Lara Croft Tomb Raider doing the cha-cha slide just down from Deadpool and Batman and Wonder Woman? That's every Saturday night over on the Experience Twitch channel. Join Taji Beats for the EXP Dance Party, exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_EXP.
right. So real quick,
Robbie's band was called Rockin Robbie and the Rollerblades. He got that from Iron Man on the rollerblades.
That's not hip hop. Hip hop is way too cool for that.
All right,
that's way older.
There's more. It's not like this is the only comic he showed up with rollerblades. I don't know if JD has the other pictures yet.
But Stevie B, MySpace is to Robbie and Alec like Atari is to Rex and John.
I don't even have a veggie sandwich. I got veggie pizza.
He's got veggie pizza, so hopefully we'll see bargains. But Stevie B,
bargains and red pants.
That's mean. It's true, but it's mean.
That's why I wore the red pants. I didn't care. I was starving. All right, so let's do some veggie pizza pricing. How about we do the Captain Carter at $41?
All right, hold on. We haven't shown it. So it's Mighty Avengers number 1.
We're dropping prices without even talking about it.
Yeah, so Mighty Avengers number 1, signed with Captain Carter, cover sketch by Joe Del Beato, Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99. We had originally up for $50, but Nick and his veggie pizza are going to go with what?
$41.19 for 1941, the year Captain America first appeared.
$41.19. All right, so there we go.
So $41.19. All right, let's look at Kraven the Hunter.
All right, Captain America number 1, signed with Kraven the Hunter, cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99, and we were going to put it out at $62.
Let's do it at 50. 5-star at 50. Kind of looks like Stan Lee's face on there too, so why not?
Yeah, a little bit. Marcus Veggie Rage.
So best price we've got on those $41.19 and $50 5-star. What else we got?
All right, so we had the Superman at $50. The Superman number 1 with the Lex Luthor.
Oh, we'll do that one at. Let's do it at. That's a good price. How about we do it at $38.19 for 1938, the year Superman appeared in Action number 1.
All right, so that's now $38.19. All right, I'm going to go over.
Ronald, I don't know why you'd have roller skates. I didn't write any of those comics. I did not write any of them.
All right, let me go through the things that we've done already, right? So we've done Green Arrow number 1, signed by writer J.T. Kroll, and we have that for $19.99.
And let's see, that was art by Dan Jurgens and George Perez. I'll go to $17.99 on that.
All right, $17.99.
And the good thing is JD doesn't charge a $5 price change fee.
Wait, Ron, did you just read what Ron said?
That's pretty funny.
Tomorrow, my wife has made it very clear that I won't make it if I claim something.
Oh, my God. Poor Ronald.
Happy birthday, Ron, by the way.
Happy birthday, Ronald.
I hope you make it to 65.
Really, we would miss you. We already missed you the last week or so.
Duck and weave, buddy. Duck and weave, man.
Right?
All right. Then we did.
When you hear the stun gun warming up, start running.
Yeah, right. All right. So next up, we did Superior Carnage Annual number 1, Silver Signature Series by Cullen Bunn.
Look at what JD wrote. Not anymore. And he signed me up for my title change subscription service.
Oh, God.
What's the Cullen Bunn at?
All right. So we had it at 50, number 2 of 10. Signed silver.
Ooh. Let's see. $69.99. All right. Ready for the Christmas blockbuster price, even though it's after Christmas? Ready? 1962.
Whoa. The elevator dropped on that one.
I better go eat before I drop any more prices.
Actually,
That's a fun series too. I mean, we were talking about Cullen Bunn earlier.
He's a great writer.
Actually, one of the giveaways, I think, is oh no, it's not Cullen Bunn. Never mind. Ignore me. All right, so let me see. Let's throw another one out there. Let me see. Ooh, let's do a Dynamite book. Draculina number 2, incentive black and white cover, 1:20 ratio by Raphael Kayainen. I hope I pronounced that right. And we have one for $20.
That's a very
hold on, let me check.
Lovecraftian.
Black cat.
It's a very Lovecraftian cover. That.
Oh, wait, we didn't do the Black Cat. Hold on, buddy. I'm sorry. I should have told Nick. All right, so X-Men Battle of the Atom #1, signed with Black Cat, cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. We have it at suggested retail is $149.99. We have it at $62.19.
That's not a bad price for collars like those. You know what I'm saying?
Collars. Yes, good collars there. Ron's visiting his mother-in-law in the enchanted land of Georgia with no Wi-Fi and poor reception, so I missed some shows. We feel for you, Ron. Hopefully your wife did not bring the taser to Georgia. Left that at home. So you know what? With Nick's veggie sandwich thing, let's bring the Black Cat down to 50. All right. And I brought the Black Cat back because somebody asked me about it. Maybe it was Ed Weird. I don't remember. All right. So that is now from $62.19 down to $50. And we'll call that the Santa Pants discount.
The Santa Pants special.
Yeah, Santa Pants special. I like that better. But let me say, Stevie B, you're a youngster compared to Stan Lee. That's true. So Amy had an interesting trivia question. Is Amy still there? Are you there, Amy? All right. So since she brought up Stan Lee one,
That's a no.
she's working with Nick right now. But what was everyone's favorite Stan Lee cameo? There's an interesting question she threw out there. So I'm curious to see what everybody's favorite cameo is.
I got two. I got two real off the bat. Like they came to my mind. First of all, there's one I love where he plays is it Willie Lumpkin, the Fantastic Four mailman, right? So in one of those Fantastic Four movies, he plays the mailman.
That's right. Was it the first one? It was the first one, right?
It is the first one because, and here's the thing, I'm not saying, even though I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan, I'm not saying I like those movies, but I do like those movies, but I'm not recommending them. You know what I'm saying? But like the first one, he's Willie Lumpkin. In the second one, he shows up to the Reed and Sue wedding and they go, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm Stan Lee." And they're like, "Get out of here." And he's like, "No, seriously, I'm Stan Lee." That was probably my favorite right there.
So JD says Deadpool, and Weird says The Librarian and Amazing Spider-Man.
I think The Library is a good one. I really don't remember a lot of them though, off the top of my head. There's been obviously so many of them.
Yeah, I know there has been.
There's the great one in Captain Marvel where he's reading the script for Mallrats when he's on the bus or whatever. That's a good one.
Oh, I didn't realize he was reading the Mallrats script.
Yeah, he's reading the Mallrats script because it was taking place in '95 or whatever, and that's when they made that movie. Yeah, really funny.
That part I did not realize. That's interesting. Hugh Hefner and Iron Man is good too. So,
or in fact, can I change my answer to Mallrats? That's my favorite Stan Lee cameo. Mallrats. There you go.
No, you can't.
Mallrats
You can't change your answer because we have strict rules on this show, right?
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Danilo, what's going on, buddy?
Hugh Hefner and Iron Man was good, and when he was Larry King, that was a good one too.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was. There were a lot of them. You know, there were, and I thought that was always an interesting twist to the MCU. When so I was kind of sad when that sort of ended. Obviously, you know, after Stan Lee passed, but you know that was always something you look forward to in any MCU or Spider-Man movie that came out. You were looking for the cameo. The first Spider-Man one, he was in the crowd, right? When the Goblin attacked. Was that the first one?
He saves a girl from falling bricks or something. Is what
right. Yeah, that was
his one he did in the first X-Men one, and it's when like Senator Kelly comes out of the water and everybody's just staring at him, and he's just like, he's the hot dog vendor or whatever. He's like,
"Oh, that's right."
Funny, but he used to do cameos back in the stuff in the '80s too, like the Incredible Hulk stuff, and like they did 2 of those movies. He has cameos in those, and maybe he's even in that Captain America movie with the Italian Red Skull. Hopefully not. So,
Danilo, I saw your pictures on your stereo set, but I don't understand your question on that one. But yeah, so I'm not sure what you mean by that vintage set for records, buddy. But glad you're here tonight.
I was still expecting them to do some sort of cameo, like put a poster up of them or something like that. I was expecting it, but I
Yeah,
guess
so
I
Wasn't
didn't.
there something somewhere in like one of the new shows, like Miss Marvel, like there was some graffiti maybe or something,
I don't recall off the top of my head.
or maybe I'm thinking about, I don't know.
What'd you think of that show, by the way, Miss Marvel?
Which I liked Miss Marvel a lot for like the first half of it, and then I felt like it kind of lost its way. I felt like I think
Yep.
they went into season 2 territory,
Yep.
and they lost the core group of characters that they built up that were so charming in those first 3 episodes. And when she goes to oh my goodness, where I'm blanking where the partition happened.
Yeah,
it was
that was
Pakistan, right? Like she goes to Pakistan. I feel like that's season 2 territory.
yep.
Right? Because you lose the vibe. Her and was it Nakia or Nadia? It was Nadia, right?
No, I
And
think it's
Bruno?
shit. No, Nikia's her best friend in the
Her and all
school.
of her homies. Like that was they should have built on that. So I think it started really strong, and it kind of meandered a bit too much.
No, I totally agree. In the beginning, I actually was willing to say it was one of my favorite shows that I've seen. I really enjoyed it. But as soon as they started to literally introduce that entirely new plot point midway, pushing the end of the season, it was like, oh, and then they did an entire episode.
And then they did nothing with the villains.
Yep.
Nothing with the villains at all.
It was, if they would have stayed in Jersey and just kept doing what they did, it probably would have been one of the, in my opinion, probably one of the best shows for Marvel.
Honestly, not a fan of the Marvel shows this year.
They're pretty bad.
Miss Marvel had that problem. I have my problems with Moon Knight and his CG cape. Just put a real cape on this man. And then She-Hulk was just, it's one of Rex's favorites of the year. And I respect that.
Like
to me, I hated She-Hulk.
I thought She-Hulk was terrible.
Yeah.
I think you got to take it for what it's worth, what it was meant to be. You know, it was a superhero sitcom. So
They could make an even better season 2 if given the chance. Okay.
There you go.
I don't think so. I will admit though, once you kind of get your head in the right mindset that it is a superhero sitcom that has nothing to do with anything, then it is a better show. But at the same time, they kind of still did follow a plot line that was just really half-assed done. So
and like, okay, you want to do a sitcom, that's cool. There were elements of the show I liked. I didn't think it was complete garbage. I didn't think it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. Or anything like that.
Superheroes of the year, or
no, we just kind of drifted there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but like
I came back from the bathroom. I'm like, She-Hulk. Who's slandering her name?
I'm just saying, like what I love about sitcoms is that you build characters and you have a core group of characters and you let them do their thing. But they didn't really share that spotlight too often. There were some really interesting characters like Pug and her friend who was like the paralegal. Can't remember her name, but and Mallory. There's some really great characters there that didn't get to be explored because it was all about the cameos. Like Wong's not there throughout the whole series. Daredevil's not there through the whole series. Abomination's not there through the whole series. So let's actually put some focus on the characters that are going to be throughout the series. And then I love breaking the fourth wall, John Byrne, Station. I love all of that stuff. It's awesome. But do not do it so that you don't have to actually write an ending, because that's what happened. They didn't write an actual ending to the show. And that's the moment you break the fourth wall. Like fully is so you get out of writing an ending to the show. That really bothered me.
It was a massive letdown. I totally agree. Is that they used the cameos as like the episode, like, oh, this episode's got Daredevil and now the Hulk is back, Abomination's back. But the main issue is that they did build a plot. They built something with the Abomination, and then 2 episodes later, it's completely gone and they forget about it for 2 episodes. Then they come back and, oh, here he is again, continuing on with a plot line that isn't developed whatsoever. And that's where that show failed to me. I think the girl that played She-Hulk, Tatiana Malaysia or whatever, she did a phenomenal job.
Funny.
She did, I think.
Malaysia, I love that.
Wait, what is it? Melania? What is it?
Maslany.
Maslany. Oh, it's close. My bad. I'm pretty bad with names.
I'm just gonna start calling her Tatty Malaysia now or something.
but she
She'll drive to Alabama just to kick your butt. I'm just saying, dude.
She did the best that she could. She did the best that she could with that script. That was god awful, and she did a phenomenal job.
I had no problem with any of the acting in there. Even Tim Roth was hilarious. There were things that worked so well. Like there were episodes I really, really liked. Just overall, it just was not satisfying to me. It was too uneven,
You
too
see,
inconsistent. Never
for
found
me,
its identity.
yeah, but for me, it was, as Alex said, I had that mindset. I kind of like I'm watching Seinfeld. Okay, so except there's superheroes involved, right? So I wasn't bothered.
Everybody's opinion. So my opinion on She-Hulk was the Wong episode was the best one. It had the most story. The Daredevil episode had the second most story. That was my second favorite one.
Which I'm surprised to hear that you love Daredevil.
I do love Daredevil, but it didn't have as much story as the Wong one. The story with Wong and Madison really developed the story, had a lot of character, a lot of drive. And
it had that magician, Nick, who he just cracked me up the entire time. The magician that they were suing or whatever, that just cracked me up.
He was hysterical, and you just had a lot of story being built up. You had a lot happening in that episode. And the episode with Daredevil where the designer gets kidnapped and they're in court and they're in the bar. There's just so much that happens in that episode. And the first episode, this is something you hardly hear anymore. That first episode was too compressed. That first episode should have been like a half hour to an hour longer. Should have been a little bit more development, a little bit more. Because one thing that I felt was stupid was, okay, the Hulk will stop, in one of the movies when he starts, from the Brian Azzarello comic, he puts a gun in his mouth to kill himself, but before the bullet goes in, he turns into the Hulk. So all of a sudden, Bruce Banner, they're getting attacked by a spaceship, and he doesn't turn into the Hulk, and he's on the floor bleeding, and Jen gets the blood. That was really kind of cool because that took from the original comic to a degree. But that episode just should have been longer. There should have been more story, more development. I do think that the rest of the show, I'll always say it like this, the rest of the series just wasn't for me. I didn't feel like it moved a lot of stuff forward like it should have and like it could have. And even at the end with Scar showing up with Hulk was kind of like, it's kind of like, okay, this is cool for people who know who Scar is in the comics market, but does it mean anything to the 600,000 other people that have never read a comic that don't know what World War Hulk is? It's like, what was the follow-up to say, oh, by the way, Hulk had a son? It's like, what led to this? So to me, there was a lot of stuff that I thought they should have added more. And I honestly think if they would have made most of the episodes 10 minutes longer and put more story in, I think they would have been better. Otherwise, it was just a lot of cool little skits that on their own was kind of funny. But, it's like, and I agree with you, the whole Kevin thing was kind of funny, but it didn't quite deliver it all the way it should have. Something was missing there,
I like JD's response. Wow, it's so weird that so many of you could be so completely wrong, except Amy, of course.
Well, okay.
I would gather from that, JD.
I understand the show wasn't perfect, but I think there's still more good things to come out of it than negative things. And again, I think if the writers listen to the constructive criticism, if they got the opportunity to do season 2, they can make it work better with the writing.
Yeah, if they want to.
I got to be honest.
I have some really good constructive criticism for the writers on this show. Pay attention.
I'm sure they're watching right now.
Pay attention and write better, because Marcus mentioned that Banner had that inhibitor on, right? Do you remember when she first becomes She-Hulk in the first episode? And she goes, just give me one of those. Sorry, can't replicate this technology. Except for when they need it for the Abomination and when they need it for her when she gets arrested later. What? Where's the continuity there? There's like...
You're right about that. I hadn't even thought about that. That's actually a really good point.
Hulk straight up tells her, can't make another one. This is the only one, but they have one for Abomination and they have one for her when she gets arrested. Just come on. And I love breaking the fourth wall, but they did that so they didn't have to bring, because they had the Todd dude or whatever stealing the blood. They had all this building up, but they never delivered on it because they were like, oh, we're going to be cute now and break the fourth wall. Now you're going to do it. You should have been doing that the whole time then.
Bro, nothing was developed in that show. It was so poorly done. And like I think Nick just said, if it had an extra 10 to 15 minutes to develop every single episode, that would have been perfect. But instead, everything was 20, pushing 30 minutes long. And everything was just like these little mini scenes that led to nothing every single time.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I got to tell you, I think it's that mindset. If you look at it as Seinfeld or Friends, I mean, think about those shows. Okay, sometimes there was continuity when they were telling a longer story, like when Monica and Chandler got married.
Totally different genres and totally different shows.
I don't think so. I think you guys are putting it in a box.
Absolutely, it's not about putting it in the box. You can have the aspects of Seinfeld and the other thing. The problem is that the whole idea of the show is that Todd from episode 1 was the person that was trolling She-Hulk. So the whole thing was one long story. So they decided to pick apart pieces of which part went the whole way and which parts did not. And that's the part that really didn't make it work. They didn't fully commit to the bit. They didn't give you everything. They had their agenda. Part of their agenda was to troll and make fun of fans who were trolls. And it wasn't 100% about giving a good story. They got out there what they wanted to get out there. I think the show had a lot of great potential, and they had some good episodes. They absolutely had some good episodes. Amy has said it from the beginning. She still can't believe that the Daredevil episode isn't my favorite. But the Wong episode with Madison just had so much more story. You actually had things happen, them going in and out.
Yeah.
You actually had things happening in that episode. In the Daredevil episode, like I said, I mean, like the designer actually gets kidnapped. So much stuff happens that you feel like you're along for a ride.
Yeah, you feel invested in what they're presenting to you. You feel like you should care about it.
Exactly. And if I wasn't afraid of showing my pants, I'd read this better. I don't know if I can take the
You tell him, JD. That's right. That's right. We want to see the Santa
I am
Man.
glad, though, that Rex, Amy, and JD enjoy the show. And many other people enjoy the show. And I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I mean, look
what
at
a
the
politically correct answer that was from Robbie.
No, because think about
Lord.
it. We just got done talking about how we really liked Miss Marvel, and the ending was a little, it failed towards the end. All the other people that probably talk about Miss Marvel, they say it's the worst show that ever came out. It was this, it was that, it was stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
It's a straight up opinion, and some people, they might not want to see those types of things. They don't want to see just like a teenage girl as a superhero. Maybe it is geared towards more kids, but they had some fantastic writing in the beginning of that, but it failed. And that's the problem with a lot of these Marvel shows. We just got done talking about how Miss Marvel wasn't that way. She-Hulk had a horrible ending, and I'm not sure how you feel about Moon Knight, but I'll tell you what, they really
I hate Moon Knight so much, man. Why not? They cannot just put a real cape on that dude.
But you gotta admit,
Moon Knight, that was the only part that was like, okay,
the cape was pretty cool, though, right? On Moon Knight, the cape was.
It wasn't just a
Everything
cape, man.
The last episode I thought was great. Like
I had to say that
Oscar Isaac's acting his butt off, and he's doing so good.
I mean, you could have Academy Award-winning writing on Moon Knight, but Robbie can't get off that cape.
Right, let me tell you something about the writing on Moon Knight. Okay, do you remember that moment where they were like, the only way we can find this temple or this tomb is to know what the stars looked like on that night 3,000 years ago? So Khonshu has to come out and sacrifice his essence to turn the sky back 3,000 years. Y'all remember that? I have an app on my phone that I can do that on. It's easy. You can do that with your phone. You can be like, what did the sky look like on this date at this time? It will let you know. You don't need. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We need an Egyptian god to come and sacrifice his essence to turn the sky back. Meanwhile, everybody on Earth is just like
I said, She-Hulk had some good episodes, but the stuff where it was lacking, and from what Robbie's talking about with Moon Knight, which I haven't seen yet, I will watch it one day.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
You are way behind.
No, you can. It's skippable. It's
Ali Isidi episode season 6 of Arrow starts to sound a lot better right now. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Can you repeat that whole sentence, please? I got lost.
What was it? What did they call it?
Did you say season 6 of Arrow? Is that what you said?
City when him and Felicity got married and they went into the suburbs. Everybody hated that season.
You stuck with Arrow way longer than me than Nick, because I wasn't there at all.
I remember seeing all of Arrow.
A lot of people didn't like Ali-icity. I think that's what they call it. Alicity. But all of a sudden, the way you guys are talking about some of these shows, Alicity doesn't feel so bad. Arrow ended well. I'll give it that.
Oscar Isaac performed the hell out of that role. He's
the only
amazing.
good part about the show.
He did.
He's great.
Werewolf by Night, real quick. I'm going to jump in. Ronald,
Was awesome.
Werewolf by Night was great. I only have one criticism about Werewolf by Night. Only one. And I've said this, and I will always say this. They should have had more of the maze fighting. You only saw 2 people fight in the maze, and you have this huge buildup about how this maze fight is going to be everything, and it's so important, and the winner gets whatever, and all of a sudden, all you see is 2 people in the maze. And it's like, what? Where's all the fighting? Where's all of that at? They should have added 10 more minutes. Here goes back to the 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes of maze battles, and people could have been a little bit more scuffed up and everything, and still had the same story, but you could have had that excitement added in. That was a great standalone.
I loved Werewolf by Night, and what I thought was even more solid was the Guardians Holiday Special, which
Love that one too.
Brought me to tears.
I have not seen that yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
I gotta tell you, that was fantastic. I watched.
I've heard from everybody.
It was perfect, really. It was perfect.
I actually kept holding off watching it because my nephews were coming over the day after Christmas, and I knew that I was like, I got to cheat because my nephews are 8 and 4. So I got to see Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas. I got to see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I got to see Frosty the Snowman. And nobody can make fun of me for it because I watched it for my nephews. It was not for me at all.
Yeah, whatever you tell yourself, Nick, to get
those are classics. Those are classics. Those are great things to watch. I watched Charlie Brown this year. You know what I'm saying? I watched Charlie Brown. I watched Frosty. I watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I love that stuff.
All right. I'll give you a hint. I watched all of them twice. Once by myself, once with my nephews. Anyway.
But you won't show the Santa pants. I wouldn't have admitted that.
I need 40 people in the room. I
wouldn't have admitted that, though. All right. So, Sean, let me see. Sean says all right. Let me see. And you know what? Anybody rewatch Hawkeye for Christmas? I watched a couple episodes. I didn't get through the whole series.
I still have to watch Hawkeye. I'm looking forward to watching one of these days.
Now is the time, bro. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Series.
It really, or a Christmas series.
I did really like Hawkeye. I really liked Hawkeye.
Hawkeye was great.
Except for the tail end.
The great thing about Werewolf by Night 2 was actually it was cool not to have any cameos. It was cool for it to be fully standalone, where it wasn't about where's this Easter egg, where's that Easter egg. It was really a great story, and it ended up being like a story about 2 friends, and that was just really well done. Like I said, I just wish it had 10 more minutes to have more fight scenes when they're in the maze, because that was what they were all brought in for, and it made you feel like nobody else fought. And I was just like, but at the same time, I'll take that for it not to have fluff that was unnecessary.
Right. So, I mean, again, I don't necessarily agree about the opinion on She-Hulk, only because if you look at these sitcoms that have been successful through the years, they didn't carry on. One episode may have you could show, as you've seen,
what
reruns.
Consequence did Seinfeld ever had? What consequence did Friends ever had? You never.
What are you talking about? There was any episode would always be a consequence. I mean,
but it wasn't
the end of Seinfeld. They're all in jail. That's a consequence.
Well, there was the whole bit. There was the whole bit in Seinfeld where Kramer went to California.
Agreed, but the point is Friends with consequence. Of course, there were always something going on. You know, some consequence or something of something that somebody did, or Joey or Chandler or whatever.
But as Robbie said, you didn't have a big dropping of the ball. Like, we can't give you an inhibitor. Oh, but we can give it to the other. We can give it to Abomination. Oh, and we can give it to you when the judge says to give it to you.
No, I agree that there probably was some discontinuity in things that they did, and Robbie pointed it out. But again, if you go into it, because I'm sure that there was with Seinfeld and Friends and every other sitcom that ever existed, but we just didn't really notice, because you take it for what it is.
No,
Okay,
Seinfeld is perfect,
self-contained.
Rex. Seinfeld
Yeah,
is perfect. Everything is perfectly planned from the beginning. Trust me.
Yeah, see, here's what people need to consider if we truly are throwing She-Hulk into the sitcom realm. It's already from Marvel, it's Disney, so it's going to be judged a lot stricter than, you know, some of these other sitcoms that fizzled out over one season
true.
that are pretty nothing. So if you want to deem it as a sitcom and you're talking and you're referencing it to the top dogs of Friends, Seinfeld, and I'm going to throw this out there because I'm a huge It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan. That show is genius. Everything's planned.
Every episode was a problem.
Yes, but it was.
But that's what I mean.
different.
Everything was planned out. There is a problem.
I disagree with all of you because it's different. Because in your mind, your approach is different. You're looking for something that was never intended. But JD, you should really get that cough looked at, dude. It could be something serious. But we're gonna go take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I have a question for everyone when we come back.
I already
You
asked
can
that
ask
question.
it now. Ask it now.
No, different.
Ask it now.
You asked about Stanley. I had a different question.
Okay, go ahead. Throw it out there, and we'll go to break.
It'll give people time to think about the answer.
How did everyone think of Phase 4 as a whole? Since Phase 5 is officially starting next year, how did everyone think of Phase 4 as a whole?
All right, let us
about
know. We'll talk about it as soon as we get back from break.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
You know how when you go to Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, you go to the hotel bar, and there's a whole bunch of people playing music and dancing, and you've got Pikachu and Lara Croft Tomb Raider doing the cha-cha slide just down from Deadpool and Batman and Wonder Woman? That's every Saturday night over on the Experience Twitch channel. Join Taji Beats for the EXP Dance Party, exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_EXP.
Hello, my name is Afrim Jambalai, writer and creator of The Legend of the Night Owl. You are watching The Experience.
All right, we're back. All right, are we just back, JD, or back?
That was weird.
Yeah. All right, so Amy's question is, what did everybody think of Phase 4
As a whole.
as a whole?
Are we live?
I don't know.
We
We're not
are.
back
I
yet.
don't know what happened. It's supposed to mute your mics during the. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to the mic. It's supposed to mute your mics during the video, and I don't know why it didn't right there.
I didn't
Oh,
see
well,
the.
I unmuted. It did mute the mics, but the but the lead-in didn't come in. It's okay. All right.
It
doesn't
played
matter.
on my computer. I don't know if it
This
I don't know why it
happened.
didn't
This
play on your
happened on the
computer.
stream I was on Monday night, where we thought we were seeing the intro, and then the audience wasn't, so they were just watching the host just stare at the screen for like 2 minutes. That happened to me at the beginning, and that's why I was like, "Are we live? Like, what's going on?" Like, I didn't see an intro the first time or that time. It's so weird. StreamYard's
Sean
got something
Butler.
going on.
I
Sean
played
Butler, what's going
Gremlins.
on, buddy? Say again, JD.
I said I blame Gremlins.
Gremlins, yes.
It is that time of the year, right?
This movie. Even though it wasn't released at Christmas, I didn't remember that. Actually, I think Robbie pointed that out to me. Sean Butler. So the question is, thanks for joining us, buddy. So the question is, what did you think of MCU Phase 4? So CJ said underwhelming.
Everything from last year and this year all together.
Alec, red pants fault. I agree. Alec gave it a thumbs down. I don't think we've heard from Robbie yet.
I give it 2 thumbs down if I could.
Maybe
There's
he
some-
actually can, but-
There's some good movies. I will say that there's some good stuff that came out of it, but as a whole, I mean, the other phases. Every time I walked out of the movie theater, I was like, "Wow, that was fantastic." And every time I walked out of the theater now, it's like, "Wow, that's pretty bad," or "It really wasn't that good."
All right,
Some
so
good
Amy,
stuff,
you
though.
posed the question. So
And
what
I
are your
think-
thoughts?
And I see the stuff that say it was underwhelming. I think people wanted another, like how Phase 3 went so badly. They kept putting all these expectations on each and every project, but it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. But I still think, I look at it as Marvel's most experimental phase, because they're trying the TV shows and more different, distinct genres and all these different types of
College
storytelling.
phase.
And I'm
These
glad
are
they did that.
experiments
In
they never
college.
have before.
I like where Rubenstein's response, poopy diaper.
But they were trying a lot of things with it, and so a lot of things are working, and then obviously some are not. But like obviously, they can learn.
Yeah,
From
I totally
things
agree with
that
that.
aren't working. So like when people say, oh, it's their worst, like, oh, Marvel died when after Endgame, like no it didn't. I think people are just putting too many expectations on it. But they gotta start over. They have to build up to their next Endgame. They gotta start small again.
Well,
I would agree.
See,
I
and
would-
that's- I was gonna say, see, that was my take going into it. I really like that they're experimenting with stuff. I knew they had to do origin stories, so movies were going to be a tad bit on the slower side. And Shang-Chi was fantastic. I thought that was a really good movie. We had really good action, and it was a nice origin story. Then we had the Eternals, and I thought that was god awful. Gorgeous movie, cinematography
Again, I
on
think
it
that if
was
they just did a
fantastic,
series,
but-
it would have been better storytelling. It was just, again, great idea, just could have tweaked the execution.
But yeah, then a series probably could have been better. But then, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange aside, because we already knew what we were getting with that. The TV shows, like Robbie and myself have been saying for most of the night, it doesn't really seem to have a direction. The story itself isn't being well told, and then it has a very I don't want to call it a bad ending, but just, it just didn't live up to any sort of hype. And we got let down by a lot of stories. Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Thor was god awful to begin with. I know that was a movie, but then TV shows, She-Hulk, they tried things, and I respect that, but they weren't good.
I would say that overall Phase 4 is underwhelming. Is it the worst phase? I may think so, but I thought Phase 2 was pretty bad. Like, I think there were some great movies in Phase 2.
And that's
But
another
there
thing.
was some-
People say the first 3 phases were perfect, but it's like, oh,
No,
right.
no,
Everyone
they-
loved Thor.
they
when-
hit a
Thor, the
major
second Thor when it
problem.
came out. Everyone loved Age of Ultron when it came out. I was like, no, you didn't.
No, Age of Ultron to me is the worst MCU film, period. Like, I cannot stand, well, I don't know, Eternals it would take that cake actually now.
What about Thor? Hold on. What about the newest Thor movie?
It's better than Age of Ultron to me, but that's just to me, right? And I also didn't really like Thor Dark World at all. That's a bad one for me. And there are things and elements. I loved Phase 3. I think that's their strongest one. They did some good movies. Their problem with Phase 4, I think, is that they didn't know how to manage or meet the expectations of the fans they had built over 10 years, right? So I get that they had just finished the Infinity War and all that Thanos stuff, and now it's time to rebuild. I get that. But in 5 movies in Phase 1, we knew they were building to the Avengers. We got the Avengers, and then they showed us Thanos. There is nothing yet. And the thing is, because so many projects were coming out, and they were trying, like WandaVision, which I thought was excellent. And I think it's the best. I think it's the best.
One of my easily my favorite things they ever done.
Yeah, I loved WandaVision, but that just kind of led into Doctor Strange, right? But we thought that Loki, which I love as well, was leading into Doctor Strange as well with the multiverse and all, but it doesn't. It didn't. We haven't seen Kang since. We're going to get Kang in the next Ant-Man movie. I get it,
And
but even Marvel themselves
Loki's
are like re-looking at their lineup and what to do because of this expectation. I think they had too much stuff coming out, and they didn't have. They should have had things building up in the middle of Phase 3. They should have had other things. They should have been teasing the Kang stuff, right? They should have been teasing these other ideas. That way, they didn't have to start fresh. And now I think they're falling behind a little bit, but overall, it's underwhelming. There are projects I really, really liked. I liked Doctor Strange too.
I did too.
I did not really like Shang-Chi. I didn't really like Wakanda Forever. That's a hard movie to make, and I understand that. I didn't like Eternals. I didn't like Love and Thunder. But WandaVision and Loki were the best to me, aside from Werewolf by Night and Guardians special. Guardians holiday special is the best part of Phase 4 to me.
I think so too. I think that might be the best thing that they've made, like this entire phase. It's not my favorite, but I think it's just from start to finish, everything is it's probably the best thing that they put together.
Another thing
Let's ask a different question.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
Like,
Always.
a lot of this recent phase was dealing with the fallout of Endgame and just saying fallouts are messy. Fallouts aren't perfect. There are a lot of ups and downs after a big thing, and that's life.
Okay, so let me ask this question. What's your favorite Marvel show that you're looking forward to? What's your favorite Marvel movie you're looking forward to? Let's take the question differently. So what are we looking forward to? Let's go to the positive right now.
Okay.
I'll go with Daredevil. Surprise.
Thanks, JD, by the way. It's yeah, grief, loss. Thank you.
I'm keeping my expectations at a minimum for the Daredevil show. I'm excited for it, but I know it's not going to live up to the hype to me. So I'm just, keeping expectations low.
I will give it the benefit of the doubt if they bring in the writers of the show from before, because those guys did do a great job.
They did.
But even if they don't, if they look at what came before, that will be a great way to set it up. And I'm really looking forward to Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm hoping it's a little bit less jokey. I'm hoping the whole movie isn't one big joke. It
looks a lot less jokey, honestly.
That's my only concern.
Because we are going to meet Kang officially. And
exactly.
And where that's going to go.
I would have to agree with Nick. I'm looking forward to Daredevil because they gave him kind of a different kind of makeup with She-Hulk.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, because the one on Netflix was very dark. All of the Marvel shows were very dark. And they kind of lightened it up with his appearance in She-Hulk.
Neil's comment: Nick needs to be placed in Daredevil as an Easter egg.
In the Santa pants.
I would be the overweight Easter egg. I'd be Humpty Dumpty.
So the X-Men, they're reviving the cartoon, right? Isn't that supposed to come out next year at some point in the fall, I believe?
Yeah, X-Men 97, I think is what it's called.
The only thing I'll add about Daredevil is because it's Born Again, it's definitely it's supposed to be darker. Hopefully they're not just using Born Again in name only. Hopefully
they probably are.
But I will say this. Loki is a strong second for season 2 that I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's coming.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. And now
I think that'll be great. Now they really killed it.
I think they're going to do Daredevil Born Again in name only, because I don't think Disney's going to be committed to, because that's darker than what they did on the Netflix show. Really, if you think about it, right?
It is.
But I hope that, because we've already seen their Kingpin. Well, Nick hasn't. He hasn't watched all of Hawkeye. I did not like what they did with Kingpin at the end of Hawkeye. I didn't mind this interpretation of Daredevil. I thought that Matt Murdock was still Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock is a ladies' man. He like this is in the comic. Like Nick, you've probably read every Daredevil comic out there. Matt is always down.
I'm looking forward to Echo. That's a good one.
But Loki too, and for movie wise, I'm looking forward to. Hopefully now we will get a good Fantastic Four movie. Like I'm really looking forward to that. I really hope they do it.
There's been no news on that.
We'll see.
That's one. I mean,
hey, if they're taking their time with it, great. Yeah, if they're taking their time with it,
I would always go
I will say Matt is a ladies' man, but keep in mind one thing: he's had bad luck. It was Elektra. It was Karen Page who sold him out and Born Again.
Yeah, it's bad luck if you hook up with Matt Murdock. So Jennifer, you might need to watch out. And the other thing I'm really looking forward to is Mephisto finally showing up in Ironheart, so I can stop seeing all these video theories about who is Mephisto in the MCU.
Well, they said he's starting.
By
to
the
look
way,
like
before
Lobo.
we run out of time, just one thing I want to mention: don't forget the giveaways, especially since since Amy went out of her way to find.
No, we're gonna do that at the end, as we always do.
Okay, just
so
make sure we don't
Half-Life
all
3.
right, let me get to the rest of the books real quick and finish this out.
And then when you're done there, Sean has an interesting question for everybody. What was everyone's favorite book?
We'll get to Sean's question in a sec. All right, so last handful of books here, and then we'll do a Rex cap after we answer Sean's question. Blue and Gold #1, signed by Dan Jurgens. It is number 23 out of 50, and suggested retail of $49.99, and we have it tonight for $23. And we'll give JD a second.
I apologize. I was wrapped up in reading comments. What book was that?
Blue and Gold #1 by Jurgens, signed by Jurgens. All right. Okay. Then next up, we got Superman #1, signed by Brian Michael Bendis. Number 20 of 630 signed, and we have it for $19.38. All right. Then we have True Believers, King in Black, Thunderbolts #1, signed in silver by Peter David. I do have to warn everybody that the signature is kind of faded a little bit. You can see it right above the Hulk. And because of that, it's just a retail $69.99, number 13 of 39. We're going to do it at $30. All right. That's what I'm saying, Marcus. That's right. He has to wear the red pants in any cameos. And then we had Draculina #5, Incentive, black and white cover, 1:25 ratio by Colette Turner. And we have the one available for $25. All right. Now, the last two books are graded books. We've got Elvira meets Vincent Price #1, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we have the one available for $75. And then final book of the night, we have Crypt of Shadows #1, CGC graded 9.8 with Moominite on the cover. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we have this one also available, one for $75. Oh, and let me throw this out there. As always, we have the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles. Cover price $3.99 or higher. So should suggest a retail of $40 or more. And as always, we have it for $5, 50 cents a copy as a thank you to our viewers. All right, so that's it. And we'll do the Rex cap in a couple minutes, but go ahead. We want to address whose question was it again?
Sean's.
Okay. What was it?
Everyone's favorite comic that they read this year.
There you go. Okay. Who wants to start?
I gotta think about that one.
I'll start by saying I don't want to reveal it because my top 20 comics of 2022 is dropping tomorrow morning.
There you go.
But I will say this. My favorite Dynamite comic that came out this year was Elvira in Horrorland, which I absolutely adored, and I need more Elvira in my life. So please, let's bring that back as soon as possible. I loved that. Her going through all the different horror films, and I loved how, was it David Avalone, right, is the writer? If John was here, he could tell me about this conversation he had with him on Twitter when he slides into his DMs or something. But
hey, we'll call that a name drop.
You know it. I'm a huge horror movie fan. We all know this. And so apparently is David Avalone and Cassandra Peterson, because all these references that were put in, like the Cronenberg issue, the Wes Craven Nightmare on Elm Street issue, the Alien issue, I loved it all. I thought it was amazing. The Elvira comics are not just my favorite Dynamite comics. They keep getting better and better and better. Y'all keep making them because they slap.
All right.
Thank you.
So
yeah, we'll have to keep note of that. More Elvira.
All right. So Alec, you got one?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know off the top of my head. I feel like I've read so much stuff, and there's been so many times where I was like, man, this is one of the best things I've read this year. Man, I absolutely love this issue. So many like complete series I read. I will say though, very recently, as you can tell, I got my Power Rangers collection going, but I didn't want to start reading it yet because I knew you had to. The way that it came out, you kind of had to read Go Go and then jump back into Mighty Morphin, and I just wanted to read it, how it's intended to be read. That Go Go Power Rangers Deluxe Volume 1, I read it in one sitting. I could not believe how good it was. It blew my mind. I mean, I grew up a Power Rangers fan. I don't know why I never really considered jumping into the comics. I mean, probably because they were 30-ish issues deep at the time, but
Right.
it's just I feel like a kid again reading it, because now it's like not only is it the cool action of all the characters, but they're giving like nice detailed backstory on a lot of them too. And I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there like, oh my god, like Rita, and oh, it was a
All
lot
the
of
way
fun.
through, Alec, all the way through that run, you get
Is
the
it
best
really?
characterization of those characters ever.
Ah,
Ever. And Go Go Power Rangers, like you were talking about, that Dan Mora artwork. Oh my goodness, right? Come on.
I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I got TMNT sitting up there too, but I have this weird thing like I don't like to start to read something if I know it's not complete, because it's like, oh, I finished the book and now I'm going to be sitting for how long until the next one comes out. But they just kind of released all the Mighty Morphins. Go Go came out. I couldn't say no to it. And I'm telling you, one sitting, I read the whole book. Couldn't believe it.
Sean Ali, thanks for joining us, bud. But all right, go ahead. What about you, Amy?
I mean, it's a weird mix of like the stuff that actually just came out this year, and then stuff I've caught up on that came out in recent years. Agreeing with Robbie, like I read our Elvira books. The Elvira and Harlan was super fun. I'm slowly starting up my own collection of comic books at home. I got the trade paperback of the Scarlet Witch series by James Robinson. Read all that in like a day. Loved it. And I'm excited about the new series that's coming out next month, I believe.
Yeah, the Steve Orlando one, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, one I liked, one I'm looking forward to. There you go.
All right. So let's see. Ed Weird says Night Eaters Book 1. So let us know what you read this year that you thought was the best that you've read. Sean Butler. So we found out, and tune in when you're dropping it tomorrow, Robbie.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Time on Pop Culture Philosophers, the top 20 comics of 2022. Because there's so many good comics this year that I had to expand it to 20 again. I usually do a top 10. I did a top 20 in 2020 because I thought that was appropriate. But I'm doing a top 20 again. Some really, really good books I got to recommend. So I hope everybody checks that out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We did get a lot of really good stuff this year. A lot of stuff that really surprised me. A lot of stuff that just continued. I mean, from Dynamite, I always have to ask John, like, hey, is this a good spot for Vampirella? Like, I read the year one, and I thought that was a really good spot for new readers to jump on the Vampirella. He's always got something to say about Elvira. Like Horrorland, I remember the issue dropped, and I said, should I get this one? And he's like, I wouldn't. He said, you're not going to appreciate it as much of a longtime reader. And he kind of, I don't know, but
I'm such an Elvira fan that when Elvira wound up on Bueller's show, I was like, Nick, next time you have Cassandra ready for an interview, I hope you call the expert and not Bueller, the scrub. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. I love Bueller. But yeah, Bueller did it.
You want us to call Alec or what?
What's that?
So you saying you want us to call Alec then?
Man, come on. You know who needs to be called next time Elvira's got something to promote? Come on, man.
What I will say is if anybody out there watching right now is a big Kiss or like Evil Dead fan, Dynamite, man, that stuff. But the last one that Rodney Barnes did, he captured Ash's personality like incredibly well.
Oh, the Army of Darkness 1979?
Yeah.
Where it's like Warriors meets Ash. Like, what if Ash shows up with the Necronomicon into the movie Warriors? It was awesome.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't think it ended this year. I think it ended last year, so I don't know if it falls into the category. But the Kiss Phantom Obsession, I thought that was a really fun one too. You guys need to do more Kiss stuff.
Those J. Lee covers. I'm a huge Kiss fan. I got a picture of Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons in my living room, proudly displayed.
Nice.
All right, you know what? We got 3 giveaways, so I think we got to get to that.
Let's get moving.
All right, so JD, if you're ready, buddy. So let's do the first giveaway. We're going to do is the X Factor number 200 signed by Peter David. So go ahead, JD, spin that wheel, buddy.
Is it going to be Kenneth?
Oh my God.
Marcus! All right, Marcus, congratulations, buddy.
Glad to see a
Marcus,
collar brother. Glad to see a collar brother win something. So
there you go. All right. So next giveaway is going to be Catwoman Lonely City number 1 signed by Cliff Chang. All right. And so go ahead and spin that, buddy.
I think Marcus won last week for us too. Now that I think
Did
about it, I think so.
I don't remember, dude.
I could be wrong.
Oh no! What is going on, man?
Bro, this happened before with Kenneth. I don't know if you knew this, Alec, but we had 3 giveaways one night. Kenneth won all of them.
Dude, that Wednesday, they were talking about it. He won on the Wednesday stream too. Then.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. All right, so the last giveaway is Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 21. All right,
I'm pulling for Marcus. No offense to anybody else, but I'm pulling for Marcus for the hat trick.
Man.
All right,
Preston, why you got to ruin the hat trick?
No 3 people, that's okay.
Neil goes, Marcus, where do you have that horseshoe? Good point, but he is not the highest winner in a bunch. That would be Kenneth Bird. Ironically enough, he's one short. But listen, I want to once again, as we close up 2022, I want to thank Robbie and Alec personally from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for making this show what it is. Love having you guys on Monday and Wednesday. I feel like, now after almost a year and a half, more than a year and a half, I consider both Robbie and Alec, personal friends now.
Oh.
And Amy, of course, for all that she does. You guys don't see a lot of stuff she does behind the scenes. Again, to our
Thank
producer,
you so much, Amy. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no, she keeps sanity in check there. JD
at the cost of my own.
Jay Burns. Listen, guys, we appreciate all that you do behind the scenes, pushing the buttons, running the giveaways and everything else that you guys do. Did we get to 35? We are at 33 thumbs up, I believe. So unfortunately, there will be no Santa pants right now. Thank you, Sean, for saying that. To our viewers, thank you, guys. I mean, it's so nice. I know everybody's got busy lives, things to do. We appreciate that you spend your time on Mondays and Wednesdays with us. And thank you, Amy, for not breaking my thumb.
We'll see what happens next year, Ron.
Ron, we feel bad for you because we know your wife's chasing you around with the taser, so we don't want to create further stress in your life. But definitely I want to thank everybody. JD really wants to see the Santa pants. I want to thank everybody for hanging with us, watching the show, and just hanging out. This is a great community. Love everybody here. So looking forward to seeing everybody in 2023. So no show Monday, but we'll be back Wednesday with both Alec and Robbie again. And don't forget Nick's show this coming Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Experience for his original art show. Some great stuff will be on there. He teased a little bit of it. And then remember, me and Robbie will be back on PCP on Friday at noontime Eastern.
50%
no idea
chance
what
we're talking about James Gunn. 50% chance we're talking about James Gunn.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just went to like the video on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it's at 35. So I just want to throw that out there.
38.
Just want to throw that out there.
Nick said 40. 35 is a statue, so we'll have the statue.
Oh, how disappointing!
We need 2. We need 2.
There's got.
Come on, we want to see the pants. We need 2.
I was gonna say there's got to be someone else out there.
There you go.
Oh, dude, come on, man.
That's it. I'm moving the camera.
That's it. Facebook counts.
Wait.
I agree. Facebook
does
counts.
count. I agree.
All right, let's see the pants. There we go. I was right. Man, I've never seen him move that fast, dude.
I love it.
We could have used him on the Eagles against the Cowboys on Saturday. That's for
He
sure.
looks like a hand ninja on break,
Man,
like on a coffee break.
that
Oh my God, too funny. But hey, listen, Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks again.
Happy New Year.
We appreciate you guys, all of our viewers, Alec, Robbie, JD, Jay Burns, everybody at the experience. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a
man.
great New Year.
Tune in on Friday. We do have a great show, and we will be raising money for George Perez's wife, Carol Flynn, and for Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. And Rex is probably in shorts. Hopefully he's at least wearing shorts.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not going to move the camera and find out for that one.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. Thank you. You'll
Yeah, this is a family. This is a family show. All right, so tune in on Friday for Nick's show. Tune in on Friday, PCP at noon, and then we'll see you guys Wednesday. Everybody have a safe New Year, please.
See you next year.
And we'll see you next year.
Yeah, you and me are going to see them on Friday.
Well,
Neil,
will this Comic Collectables? We'll be back next year.
Neil,
That's
you should
true.
be scared, my friend. You should be.
You should be really. You should be
Yeah,
very
Stevie
afraid.
B. Yeah, there were flames coming out from Nick's shoes as he was running out the room. All right, be safe, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.